I created the perfect player to try and destroy football history. Meet Cristiano Messi, a 15-year-old youngster with maximum attributes in every area. From finishing to tackling, he can do it all whilst being an athletic freak. He's 6'11" and 120 kgs, whilst also having the maximum ability in-game and the perfect underlying attributes to make him a top player. And today, I'll be acting as his agent to try and help this ultimate athlete break all the footballing records. And to do that, he's got 5 tasks. Task number 1 is for him to win the title in all 5 of the major European leagues. I'm also going to be asking him to break the Lionel Messi record of scoring 91 goals in a calendar year. He needs to beat Cristiano Ronaldo's total goal tally of scoring over 930 goals. And if that wasn't enough, I want him to try and win 10 Ballon d'Ors to be the most decorated player in history and to also win the World Cup. But it's going to be pretty tough right now, because at this stage his nationality is Gibraltar, who have no chance of winning the World Cup, and he's playing for Europa Point. This is a team in the Gibraltar leagues, and even with the influence of our star player, they're only predicted to finish 7th in the table. So for him to break those records right now, it seems pretty tough. But every season, I'll be setting him challenges, and if he can hit those targets, he'll earn moves to better clubs, and maybe even will get a move to a better nation. In all of this, the aim is to get him playing with better players to help him break those records, but for right now, he's in the Gibraltar leagues, and I'll be asking him to score 30 goals, which sounds easy, but it won't be that simple. Because in the Gibraltar divisions, you only play just over 20 games, so for Cristiano Messi to hit his target, he's going to have to score over 1 goal a game throughout this season, not get any injuries, and hopefully then he can make a move to a better club. But what can he do in season 1? Well, in his first season, he won't be ending up with any kind of title just yet, as Europa Point, his club, finish in 2nd place with the same points total as the winners St. Joseph's and a better goal difference, but because of how the league works on a head-to-head basis, Cristiano does not win the title in his first season, but what he did win was the Golden Boot, because he absolutely dominated this league, and not only did he reach his target of 30 goals, he got 1 extra, scoring 31. If he'd scored another, he would have had double the 2nd best player in the league's goal tally, who had 16, and in fact the 3rd highest goal scorer was one of his teammates, and you'll see why that might have been in a few seconds. But Cristiano has already attracted the interest of some major clubs. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid all want him, but as his agent, I'm not going to give him that move yet. To make him a proper player, he needs to go through some challenges to get to that kind of level, so he's going to have to hold his horses for now. But obviously, we asked him to score 30 goals this year, and he didn't just do that. He scored 31 goals in 22 games. He missed out on 3 matches, but he did manage to bag, and he also got 11 assists. He was creating chances all over the pitch, which is why that other guy did so well. With an average rating of 8.06, he is off to a flyer. 31 goals in all comps, no international goals though, as Gibraltar still have not picked him for the international team yet, and I think they're certainly making a mistake right now with Cristiano Messi. But as his agent, he has hit his target. He's done exactly what we've asked of him, but I don't quite think he's ready yet to move to the top 5 European leagues, so I need to find him somewhere else to start bedding his feet in a better division in Europe. And if we're talking about a division to develop a youngster, then perhaps the best out there is the Eredivisie. Known for producing youth and giving chances to the youngsters, this might be the place for him. Now, I'm looking at all the big teams there, Ajax, Feyenoord, PSV, but I think that might be too much of a reward for him at this stage, and I think after doing what he did in Gibraltar, he still needs a challenging club to play at. Step in NEC, an Eredivisie side that last season finished in 15th, just surviving from the relegation places by 4 points. Their current striker, Brian Linson, is 34, and that's going to leave a gap in their team, so I think this could be the perfect destination for our superstar to make a name for himself in a major league in Europe. And here he is at his new club in his new club colours. At 16 years of age now, a year is gone in his career, and that obviously means we're on a ticking timer here to try and beat all the targets we've set. And what you will see is he has made his Gibraltar debut, playing 1 game for the nation and scoring a goal. That was from the penalty spot in a 4-0 loss to North Macedonia, mind you, so he isn't exactly taken the international stage by storm yet, but obviously the Eredivisie is a step up from playing out in Gibraltar, so it's going to be a bit of a higher challenge for our superstar, and my aim for him this year hasn't changed. I want him again to try and hit 30 goals. There's more games this time round, so if he wants to go on to become a GOAT of a footballing space, he needs to be hitting these kind of numbers at an early age. But before we see how our superstar is going to take to a new division, if you are enjoying the video, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button for me. It really does help. And subscribe as well, as we get so close to 50k subs. I'll put the proportion on screen right now, but over 80% of you guys watching aren't currently subscribed. And if just a handful of you did that, we'd see those numbers go up massively. So thank you for any of the support, but let's go and check out how our superstar did. And this year, it's safe to say our boy has made an impact, because NEC have got one of their best finishes in a long time, finishing on 64 points, not even 10 points away from winning the title. They've managed to beat AZ Alkmaar and Twente in the league to secure a Champions League qualifying place next season. A move over Ricardo Pepe, Borgs and Wout Weghorst, because the new top goal scorer in the division is Cristiano Messi. With 29 goals in 34 appearances, he has smashed it at NEC, but unfortunately, if you remember our target for him, despite now being valued at over £100 million, our 17-year-old has not hit the 30 goals required. He wasn't selfish enough, getting 8 assists and 10 player of the match awards, so he does not earn a move just yet, and he still stays at his club, so he's going to have to see how they fare on a European front this season. But speaking of Europe, he is smashing it on an international stage for Gibraltar, playing 8 times and scoring 12 goals. And not just scoring goals, after you saw him last making his debut, he went on to play Moldova away, where he scored a hat-trick to beat them 3-2. He then scores another hat-trick to beat Estonia 3-1, helps them beat Andorra and Moldova in the Nations League, and then gets a draw against Andorra away. And it's meant that Gibraltar have actually won their Nation League group, and they've been promoted. So not only is he helping his nation climb up the rankings, he's also helping NEC. But of course, the best players of all time, Ronaldo, Messi, they weren't playing their careers for minnow clubs. They were out there smashing it for some of the world's best at a young age. So if he wants a move, he needs to hit his target. 30 goals, yet again, we're setting it for him. Maybe this time, he can do the business. And I think at this point, our perfect player has got to go down as an NEC legend, because they have finished 3rd in the Eredivisie, 67 points, once again qualifying with a chance of playing in the Champions League. But in his first European adventure, unfortunately they didn't make it through the qualifying this year, losing to Celtic, but they did make it to the Europa League round of 16, where Messi proved his worth against Brentford, scoring 2 goals, only for the club to eventually go out. But we do have the first bit of silverware in our superstar's career, and whilst it doesn't count towards any targets, it's definitely a good step, as we've gone on to win the Dutch Cup final, with NEC beating VVV Venlo 2-0 in the final, despite the fact that Messi didn't score himself. But he was certainly scoring in the Eredivisie, where not only was he the highest goal scorer in the league, he was 1 assist away from having the most assists, and he was the best player in the division, only the age of 18. He has managed to score 30 goals this year, just about making his target, whilst also getting more assists, and somehow the game thinks he's actually been worse overall. But either way, he is on fire at this stage. He's done exactly what we've asked of him, and he's now scored 18 goals in 16 Gibraltar appearances, including, by the way, in a World Cup qualifying win against Ukraine, where Messi scored twice in a 3-2 victory. But with everything he's done now at NEC, the level he's taken them to, and the fact he's hit his target, he is ready for a new move. And I think it's about time he tests himself in one of the top 5 European leagues. Especially as this year he has gone and hit a European Golden Boot award with the most goals in any division. And despite only playing for NEC, he was even voted as the FIFA Player of the Year. But unfortunately, the Ballon d'Or in the last 2 seasons has gone to Bernardo Silva, so he hasn't quite won a Ballon d'Or yet, so he's probably not ready to play in the big time right now. Let's move him to a division where he can really make an impact. And it was a toss-up between France and Italy to start with, but I felt like there was a team in Italy that needed saving. You will see in 8th place, despite all of their dominance years ago, Juventus are only on 60 points. They are struggling, despite Big Dusan going out and being the top goal scorer in the division last year with 24 goals. It wasn't enough for Juve, and I think they're just in need of a bit of star power. if only I had someone to send their way. And just like his namesake Cristiano Ronaldo, Cristiano Messi has moved to Juventus. He is going to be their star striker. The Gibraltar international is ready to tear it up in Serie A with all eyes on him now. He's scored plenty of goals in his career already, in fact 90 in 90 appearances, but this is the real test. He's going to be playing against much better players, some of the best defences in world football, and I'm going to set him a bit of a different target this time round, because instead of focusing on goals, I'm saying if he can take Juventus from finishing in 8th place to winning the title, then I'm going to give Messi an upgrade. But what kind of upgrade am I going to give him? Well, he's done all he can for Gibraltar. He needs to play with some new players, so if he can win the league title with Italy, we'll take him to a nation in the top 10 rankings. Not one of the best ones quite yet, just one of the teams outside of that. So with that target in mind, let's see if Messi can do it. So, it was his first time in the top 5 European leagues. Could he get started on his target of winning the title in all the different nations? Well, at Juve, last year they finished 8th. But this year, in came Messi, and he did a good job. He scored a few more goals than Dusan did last season, scoring 29, assisting 12, and even scoring a bunch in Europe with 10 goals in the Champions League. But was it enough to help Juve? Yes, it was. And not by a little bit, by a lot. As Juventus get their first league title since all the way back in 2019. They finished champions with 90 points, 48 goal difference, and the best goal scorer in the division was none other than Cristiano Messi. The most assists in the division was our boy, Cristiano Messi. And if we go by the best player in the league by a long distance, it is him. Of course it is. He has absolutely torn it up this year at Juventus. Playing with better players has obviously helped him massively. Yes, it says he scored 29 goals here, but if you class his international goals as well for Gibraltar, where he's now scored 30 in 26, he's doing way better than I thought he would be at this stage. And at only 19, he is already getting started on breaking some records. Because he's only gone and won the Ballon d'Or. His closest competition was Marcus Rashford at Manchester United, but they could not keep up with Cristiano Messi, and it was actually from his season at NEC crossing over with this Juventus year where he has done the job. He has secured that trophy, and that's his first Ballon d'Or down. He's also secured his first league title. He is on his way to breaking the records, but he's not going to win a World Cup at Gibraltar, so let's give him a new nation. He's earned it. And just like that, Cristiano Messi is no longer a Gibraltar superstar, but a Dutch superstar, with the Netherlands currently ranked 11th. That felt about right to me. Not a nation that's going to go out and win the World Cup instantly, but perhaps in contention if this striker can start doing the business for them. But at this stage, I don't feel like he needs to move yet, so as his agent, I'm going to let him have a year off, no targets, let's just do another year at Juve and get it out the way. And whilst it's a few less points than before, once again, Messi goes out and secures a title for Juventus. He has another great scoring season with 30 goals in the league, beating his time from last year out and getting a better average match rating too. He is already a Serie A and a Juventus legend. He is scoring goals for fun at the Netherlands, still over a goal a game for his country, but when I look at him, I see a player here who at 20 should be competing for Champions League titles, but unfortunately Juventus aren't getting that far. They haven't done well in either season. This year they got knocked out in the knockout playoff round, not even making the round of 16. So with 2 titles under his belt, it feels like we have peaked already here at Juve. So I'm going to give him another season at the club, but there is a target. If he can go out and be the best player in the league again, prove that he has finished and conquered Italy, I'll get him a move to a new club. But he needs to hit that target. So it was simple. In his 3rd year at Juve, if he wanted out and into a new nation, he just had to be the highest rated player in the division. But there was one man trying to stop him, and that was Rafael Leao, who at AC Milan had driven Juve into a title race. With barely any points between it, he was unreal this year, maybe not in terms of goals and assists, but an average match rating of 7.71 was nearly impossible to beat. But nearly impossible isn't an issue when you are the world's best player, because Juventus pipped AC Milan to the title by 3 points with the top goal scorer and a higher average match rating by 0.01. Cristiano Messi did the business. He must know what targets are on him for him to go out and only just do better than Rafael Leao. But it's another great year for him, where his goal scoring's been down, but his assist numbers have been up, and Italy has well and truly been conquered. Since being at Juventus, he has won the Serie A 3 times, the Super Cup, and he's won the Coppa Italia twice too, so there really isn't much left for him here. And if you're wondering how the Netherlands are getting on, well, they're now ranked 8th in the world, and if we look at their schedule, you will see that they actually went in the Euros and got to the quarter-final, losing to France 4-1, so clearly Cristiano can't make all of the difference on an international stage, but he is now a certified superstar, and he needs to be moving to a team fit for a Ballon d'Or winner. And I don't just mean a one-time Ballon d'Or winner. At this stage, we are talking about a three consecutive Ballon d'Or winning Cristiano Messi. He's beaten Mbappe and Saka in the second year, and Bellingham and Jeremy Pino in year 3. This boy is incredible, and he now needs to move up to a new division to secure another title on his road to all 5, and I think there's a perfect club for him. Because a certain Bayern Munich superstar has decided to hang up his boots. Now an assistant manager, Harry Kane, has left Bayern Munich. So in steps 21-year-old Cristiano Messi. His second of the top 5 leagues is going to be Germany, and over there Bayern Munich have been totally dominant, winning the title in every season so far in this sim, and I'm hoping being at a club like Bayern will give him a chance to secure that Champions League trophy, and obviously playing in higher competitions with better players means more goals, getting more Ballon d'Or awards, and hopefully more titles to add to his cabinet. But whether it's going to turn out like that is yet to be seen, but let's give it a year at Bayern, no targets, let's just see where the level is. And if you're a striker that's struggling to win trophies, Harry Kane, and you want to go out and win one, the best place to go is of course Bayern Munich, because it is so simple. They have played a whole season without drawing a match, only losing one game to Wolfsburg away, and the top goal scorer by a million miles is 27 goals for Cristiano Messi, who has been unbelievable in the Bundesliga, exactly as you would expect for a player of his caliber, and it's the best year of his career so far, outside of that one season in Gibraltar, where he was clearly already too good. He's now scored 200 goals in 213 league appearances, but we have something big on the horizon. If we have a look at the Netherlands, they have qualified for the World Cup, where they've got Australia, Jamaica and Congo in their group, and obviously with the World Cup only coming around every 4 years, if we want Cristiano Messi to be the superstar and break all the records, he's not going to have that many chances of winning this, so this is his first opportunity at a nation that would love to win the trophy. So this year, there are no targets, we can have no transfer distractions. Cristiano Messi needs full focus on the World Cup, and hopefully he can deliver the first international trophy of his career. So it was a big year. We had the World Cup, but before I show you how Cristiano Messi did, I'm just going to quickly let you know about the Patreon, which you can find linked in the description. It's my Patreon, and it is the best way to support me as a creator in what I do here on YouTube. Now, yes, it supports me, but in return, there's lots of benefits to you guys, including some giveaways coming up, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But on top of that, you get all the save files from every video we do, so you can rebuild the clubs I rebuild, manage the players I manage. You can go out and watch these videos early as well. They'll be on the Patreon early and ad-free. There's polls to help decide the next video, and I'll even be implementing a feature where I get the Patreon's names in as the new gen players of our rebuilds in FN26. So if any of that sounds interesting, or you just want to support me, that's the place to do it. But let's go and take a look at whether our boy was able to support the Netherlands in their push for a World Cup. And I will show you that in a second, but first let's build the hype a little bit and focus on the league, where, as you can imagine, Bayern Munich win the title. We don't even have to look at that to know, and Cristiano Messi has smashed it once again with 27 goals, 10 assists, and the exact same season as last year in 2 less games. He's proven to be a consistent goal scorer for Bayern, but what about the Netherlands? Well, in his first game in the group, he managed to score 2 goals in a 3-0 victory of Australia. The Netherlands then beat Jamaica with 5 goals, 3 of which being Cristiano Messi, and he scored again in the final group stage match against Congo. We then move into the second round, where the Netherlands beat Portugal in a tough game 2-1, and in the round of 16, it was France, as Kylian Mbappe's team was beaten by our Netherlands side in penalties, with our boy scoring 2. And in the quarter-final, Cristiano Messi with a double to beat Turkey, and just just like that, the Netherlands were in the semis with a chance of winning the World Cup, and against Italy and the nation he was playing in for 3 years, Messi got the goal to beat them 2-0. So it was a World Cup final on the horizon against Spain. If he could win this, we'd be able to tick off our first target of the video, and he went for it, scoring 2, including the extra time winner to beat Spain 2-1, and that's his first target done. Win the World Cup, we can tick it off. I thought that might be one of the hardest, but he's got the job done, and that has 4 targets left to go. And at this point, he is breaking all kinds of records. He keeps winning the Ballon d'Or. In fact, he's now secured 5 out of the 10 we're after, and he is winning all the trophies in Germany too. So his time at Bayern feels like it's peaked. He's won the Pokal, the Bundesliga. The only thing eluding him is the Champions League, and this time, I'm not letting him go until he wins it. He has got to win the UCL with Bayern, then and only then can he move on to his next club. Let's see how long that takes. And at this stage, we know exactly what to expect in the season. Bayern go out and win the title, this year going unbeaten, with Cristiano Messi scoring all the goals, this time 23 goals in 27 with 13 assists. But what about the Champions League? Well, unfortunately, if we go to Bayern Munich and go to schedule, you will see that they lost to Newcastle, beating them 2-1 in the first leg, but then in the away leg, Messi missed a penalty to lose to them in a shootout. So he's got to stay at Bayern for another year. He hasn't won the Champions League. Or has he? Because if we go back a season in his World Cup winning year, what I did not notice was the day I was showing you all of this information, he was playing a Champions League final against PSG. So I didn't know it was happening, but when we simulated, it took place, and they beat PSG 3-2. Youssoufa Moukoko, Cristiano Messi, and João Neves scoring against his old club. An insane match, 2 big sides going against each other, but it means he has now won the UCL, and it's time for a new club. And before we move to England or Spain, I think the next step in his career is to go to the club that just missed out on the Champions League and play in France. Of course, there's only one team for him: Paris Saint-Germain. And as he is the best player in the world, it is no surprise he is earning crazy money, £700,000 a week as a Paris Saint-Germain player. He's now 24 with 65 goals and 82 caps for the Netherlands. That also includes his Gibraltar caps and Gibraltar goals in there too. But he has tore it up in the Netherlands, in Gibraltar of course, Italy, and now Germany. He moves on to his 3rd of the top 5 European leagues, and obviously we're not going to move him yet. If he's going to do the job in Paris, I think it's the same story. I need him to go out and not just win the league trophies with PSG, but also a UCL as well. So let's leave him for a few years cooking away at PSG and see what he can do in his time at the club. So I've jumped a few years ahead, and now our player is 26. And you're probably thinking, how did he do in Ligue 1? Did he score goals? We all know the answer. If he can do it in the other divisions, he's going to do it here. Ligue 1 isn't that much of a step up. But I did not think he would do as well as he did, because as a PSG player, he scores 28 and 29, assisting 18, and getting an 8.03 average match rating. He has found it as easy as Gibraltar in his 2nd season here at PSG, and season 1 wasn't far off either with 27 goals. He has been on an unbelievable streak. Of course, Jurgen Klopp's PSG side have won the title by a clear margin, and he is the best player in the division by a mile. Actually, not by a mile. Florian Wirtz very close behind him on an 8.02. And just to rub it into his old club, at his first year in Paris, it was a rematch between PSG and Bayern for the Champions League, and PSG won it in extra time. No help from our boy Cristiano Messi, but it's another Champions League trophy in the bag, and it's probably now a good time to take stock of his 5 challenges. Challenge number 1, win the league title in the top 5 European leagues. Well, he's done Italy, Germany, and France. He's just got England and Spain to go. As for 10 Ballon d'Ors, he's not quite there yet, but he has now won 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in his time. So considering he's only 26 at this stage, he's almost certainly going to hit that. He's won the World Cup, so we can tick that one off. And when it comes to the Ronaldo and Messi records, the 2 main focuses for me really, he's not going to beat Ronaldo yet, that's a longevity thing, and the Messi one seems near enough impossible, because the Ballon d'Or basically takes place over a 1-year period, and it's not exactly a calendar year, of course it's not, but even when you look at that, you see he's scoring 36 goals in this one, 32, 41, even if you added the calendar year part and took, say, half of the next season and added it to a previous year, we get nowhere near Messi's numbers, unless I'm doing all my calculations wrong. I have no idea how Messi scored 91 goals in a calendar year. That seems pretty much impossible. We've gone to World Cup finals, in Champions League winning years, playing in every cup competition and going unbeaten with Bayern Munich, and he still gets nowhere near in all of that. Tell me how Messi did it, I don't know. But at this stage, Cristiano Messi is a PSG, Bayern and Juve legend, and I think again, we're getting to the stage where he's starting to look like he's done with his time here at PSG. I'm going to give him one more year, but I think it'll be too easy to move him just yet, so the target for him is now going to be to win another Champions League title. If he can do that, then it's time to move him to England or Spain on the next step of his career. But he's now got 100 international appearances, he's an extremely good goal scorer, so let's see if he can get another Champions League title and get his move to the big time. Now it shows how good our superstar is, because in game right now he is considered a Bayern Munich legend, which you might think sounds obvious, but not when you see what he's done to them. Because obviously we know Cristiano Messi is a superstar. For PSG, they have won the league title yet again, and despite a great season from Wirtz, it was really Messi's goals that took them to that title once more, as he scores 25, assists 10, and does a very good job all round for his club. But once again, in what seems to be a classic matchup at this stage, it's a PSG Bayern Champions League final, and PSG win it in penalties, and that means of course Cristiano has done the business, and despite not being a goal scorer, he's now going to get to move to the top 2 leagues in the world. But there's more. He's now played 116 times internationally with 83 goals and will go down as a Netherlands legend, but not just because of that one World Cup win. Because he did it again. Because despite not scoring after the round of 16 against Scotland, the Netherlands went and beat Croatia 3-0, England 1-0, and then France 1-0 in the final to secure his second World Cup of a video, and I think already he's probably going down as the greatest player to have ever lived. The numbers at this stage are exceptional. He's got the goal scoring record, he's getting all the assists as well, which is something we haven't really mentioned, but he is also a creator as well as a goal scorer, but he has now achieved his target, and for that reason, it's time to say goodbye to PSG and hello to England. But which English club should we send him to? Because currently Man U are winning the titles, Newcastle are in on about it, as are Man City and Chelsea, but when we're thinking about the best strikers in current football, there's one man to me that comes to mind. Not sure if you've heard of him, there's a man called Erling Haaland, who is very close to retirement at Man City, 35 years of age, and whilst he is still in the prime of his game and looking really good, he's obviously going to need to move on, and I think they need a new striker to play at City. So in comes Cristiano Messi, getting a 700 grand a week contract yet again. The 2-time World Cup winner and multiple-time Ballon d'Or winner is now going to be testing himself in arguably the hardest league in the world. The Premier League, Man City have not won it for a little while. If we have a look at the history of the competition, it's been a few years since they have Newcastle and Man United becoming the top 2 teams in the league. So with Haaland's downfall and Cristiano Messi's rise, can he step in and guide Man City to the title? That's got to be aim number 1, and you know what? If he does, I've got something else in mind. Because we know at this stage he has achieved pretty much everything he can for the Netherlands. He's won 2 World Cups for the country and is basically going to be their best player ever. He has taken them to 3rd in the national rankings, and for that reason, I feel like he needs an upgrade, and France is calling out to me. Now obviously it doesn't actually make sense that he can play for multiple nations, but he's done well enough that I think at some point if he can take Man City to the title, I'll move him to playing for the best nation in the world. It will mean he'll be surrounded by the best players and the chance to do the unthinkable and win the World Cup with 2 different countries. So the Premier League was the next port of call for our star striker, but unfortunately, he wasn't enough to sway the tide, because Man City did not win the title again. They did really well, but 1 point better than them was Manchester United. Now managed by Marco Rose, they have gone and won the title over Roberto De Zerbi's Manchester City team, where Cristiano Messi did prove to be the best goal scorer in the league. The Prem was not a step up for him. He scored 29 goals, 12 assists, 11 man of the match awards, and playing some of his best football to date. Now in terms of being the best player in the league, he has done that, so he is going to be able to get his move to a new nation, but his first year in the Prem has been proved to be an easy one, and for that reason, he now gets a boost. It's time to say goodbye to the Netherlands and hello to a new country, France. So there we have it, the Gibraltar prodigy, the Netherlands legend, is now a France forward. 28 years of age, he is, I mean, let's be honest, he's the best thing anyone's ever seen. If we have a look at his career stats, he is scoring goals for fun, he's won the World Cups, but there's still some things we need to tick off, and one of the things we've been after, of course, is 10 Ballon d'Or wins. And at the most recent ceremony, he was crowned winner, not just for the 10th time, but for the 10th time in a row, from playing at NEC to then winning it 3 times at Juve, 3 at Bayern, and 3 at PSG. He is just running away with all the titles, and that now ticks off 2 of our list of 5. He's got 3 to go, obviously break the Messi calendar record, which still seems pretty much impossible, Ronaldo's record too, which we'll do a tracker of at the end, and of course winning the league title in all 5 of the major leagues. And currently he's not done that yet in the Prem, so that's got to be his next challenge. Keep scoring, keep hitting the numbers, and secure that Premier League trophy. So, was being a Frenchman affecting his game in any way? Was he still the star player we knew? Well, actually, yes, but no, because our superstar Messi was still scoring the goals. In terms of for France, he was banging them in. I mean, he scored a hat-trick in his most recent game for Slovenia. And for Manchester City, I mean, of course, he is doing the business. He scored 23 goals this year, 20 assists, and the Premier League is still just so easy for him. But unfortunately, it's not that easy for Manchester City, who are finishing in 4th place. Tottenham, Newcastle, and Manchester United ahead of them. Every team there above 90 points, which is incredible to see. One of the closest league battles I have ever seen in the history of Football Manager. And despite all of Messi's efforts, it's 3 in a row now for Manchester United, and Man City are starting to lag behind. But before we can move to a Barca or a Real Madrid, Cristiano has got to stay at Man City and win that title. He's got to keep on. If it takes him 10 years and he misses out on winning it in Spain, then that is his fault. He is here as a Man City player. They need to build around him and get that title win. So maybe in another year, he can potentially do it. Well, in his 3rd year at City, he was once again his mercurial best, scoring 28 goals in 32, 10 assists, and whilst playing worse than he has in any other season yet for them, Man City have gone out and won the title. Manchester United having a huge fall off on 72 points this year, Marco Rose having a struggle, but Man City with Roberto De Zerbi have got back to the big time, winning their first Premier League title for 5 seasons now, and Messi was a huge part of it. The best player in the league alongside this guy, Ryan McDonald, a Scottish player at age 30, but he has absolutely smashed it on the goal scoring front, being the main man in a title winning Man City side. And that, by the way, is alongside winning the FA Cup, the Nations League, the Community Shield, and the Carabao Cup whilst being a City player. And just like that, he has conquered England. It took him plenty of years, but with that, he's now won 4 of the top 5 European leagues, and there's now only one place to send him. Because there's a team in need of a player, because in Spain, Barcelona won the title, followed by Barcelona winning it again, then Real Sociedad, and there was once a Real Madrid win, but you'll notice they're not doing very well on a consistent basis, and they've only won it once in the last 5 years. They're in desperate need of a Galactico at Real Madrid, so in comes their new star striker at 30 years of age, Cristiano Messi. He has earned his chance now to be a Galactico player. He's done everything he can in every other division. Now at age 30, he follows in Cristiano Ronaldo's footsteps to become the star man at Real Madrid, the place where most of the best players end up at some point in their career, and as a France international and a regular player, it's time for him to take the world by storm in the Spanish capital. But you might notice what year it is. It's World Cup year. And it was unfortunately a disappointing exit for France, who lost in the quarterfinals to England 6-5 in extra time, with Cristiano Messi scoring a hat-trick in the quarterfinal, 2 goals in the round of 16, scoring a hat-trick against Colombia, another 2 goals against Barbados, another 2 against Saudi Arabia, and in a game against Algeria, he scored another hat-trick. So despite only making the quarterfinal, he won the Golden Boot with 15 goals. Now, he'd scored 13 in the year before for the Netherlands, which is the same as what was scored by Just Fontaine for France in 1958. So with 15 goals, he becomes the highest goal scorer in World Cup history, despite not even making the semi-final, which is a crazy stat in its own right. And you might be thinking, well, what about his time at Real Madrid? Well, of course, he went out and delivered 22 goals, 8 assists, and in his first season as a Real Madrid player, he did not secure that title. He actually didn't even finish as a top goal scorer in the division, or even the best player, so they do lose out to Barcelona by 3 points. So we need to keep an eye on this. We need to make sure he doesn't fall by the wayside and go without winning La Liga. He needs to do it, so hopefully another season can see them secure the title. And honestly, the numbers this guy is putting up, I know he is the perfect player, but it's still mind-blowing to even see this be possible in Football Manager, as he's now scored 142 goals in 163 international caps, and for Real Madrid, he only played 23 games this season because of injury, but he scored in 20 of them. He's now scored 450 goals in 508 appearances, and if we're speaking about Real Madrid, we obviously want to know the answer. Has he gone out and won the 5th title in the top 5 European leagues? You know the answer already. Because of course he did. He guided Real Madrid to a famous title win, 96 points. With 20 goals on the way despite all of his injuries, he was the best player in the division and helped them secure that trophy. And that of course means he wins the challenge of winning the 5 major European leagues. He has done it in all 5. He has been a dominant force wherever he's gone. He's won 2 World Cups along the way, broken Golden Boot records, and now there's just 2 things left. Messi's 91 goals in a calendar year and beating Ronaldo's record of 930 career goals, but at this stage he's 32. He's got 142 for his country and 450 in the league. If you add them together, we're looking at about, don't make me do maths, but about 600 at this stage, or thereabouts. Still a while off Ronaldo, so he's going to need some more years under his belt, and at this stage, with only those things to go and with no reason to move to, I don't know, say Saudi Arabia to boost your numbers, careful Ronaldo fans, don't come at me, but with no reason to move, we're going to go into the future, simulate to the end of his career, and see just how well he did. And we are now all the way in 2046. So many years have passed at Real Madrid, but still as their captain and their key player and verging on retirement at the age of 38, having pulled his hamstring and suffering so many injuries, is Cristiano Messi. He's a France legend, 209 international appearances, 168 goals. And if we go to his league form, I mean, you saw him last score 20 for Real Madrid. After that, he goes season upon season, scoring tons of goals and getting so many assists as well. Now, in a total, at the bottom here, it says 597. So if you add that to 168, you're looking at around 765 goals, if my maths is right there. Now, that, of course, does not break Ronaldo's record, and it's safe to say we got nowhere near Messi's 91 goals in a calendar year. So Messi's is out the window, and so's is Ronaldo. We've only achieved 3. Or have we? Because what I've only just noticed is when we're looking at this total down here of 597, that includes his goals in the league and not his European goals, nor does it count his cup goals. Now, not including friendlies, if we add all of his goals in all comps together, we have a total amount of goals for Cristiano Messi of over 1,000. He's scored 1,000 goals, and it doesn't stop there. Because having now retired, he finishes with 49 trophies, 203 individual accolades, and as you can see, he's a Bayern Munich legend, and there's so many things written about him. These are the list of all the personal awards he's won, and all of the stuff in his career, but the main thing, the Ballon d'Or, he is handed over for the first time to someone new, as Matteo Zanotti of Newcastle is going to be the new man to take on the footballing world, as Cristiano Messi has won every single Ballon d'Or from 2025 to 2043. Now, what's that? 18 Ballon d'Ors along the way. He will never be beaten. He has smashed football. He has destroyed it. But what do you want to see next? Let me know in the comments and let me know what you think of his career. But it turns out the only record that you can't beat is Messi's 91 goals in a calendar year. Will anyone ever do it? I don't know, but I can guarantee you Cristiano Messi tried his hardest and he was not able to. So maybe that's something to try in the future.